Welcome to Minibytes session 6. This is the first session of week 2 of 21 and 21. My name is George Tyson. I'm an EdTech advisor for Schools ICT, and I'm a senior education advisor for North Yorkshire School Improvement Service. Now, I also work with North Yorkshire Education Services, which is also called NES. NES is the overarching company which manages the traded arms of North Yorkshire County Council, which includes Schools ICT. They're administering today. The 21 and 21 Minibyte sessions are designed to give you a very brief overview of a number of different 21st century learning tools, and today we're looking at teaching live lessons using PowerPoint 365. If you are interested in becoming a Microsoft Innovative Educator, you can use the code shown at the bottom of your screen, which is TGTFA9A221. If you go to that website, education.microsoft.com, and either sign in or register, you'll then get 300 credits towards your Microsoft Innovative Educator award. Now, the awards for Microsoft Innovative Educator require you to have 2 hours of online training and 2,000 credits. So it means that you can do a few smaller online training courses if you want to. Each course package is normally about 1 hour long. So today we're going to be looking at live lessons using PowerPoint 365, and we've got a bit of a tour for you today. So without further ado, I'm just going to show that I am sharing my screen, and anything which is being shared is going to be recorded for today's session. So I'm going to move myself across. This is normal desktop PowerPoint, which I'll not be using anymore today, apart from to share the code at the end. We're going to be going into my web browser. If your camera is on, you will be recorded, so please can you turn it off if you do not want to be recorded. Okay, thank you very much. So we're going to start at the very beginning. How do we get to where we want to be? We'd open up a new tab in our web browser. I'm going to do an incognito window for this purpose. And when you log in, you need to go to office.com. Office.com is the first title that you type in your web browser, and you get to this picture. The photographs sometimes change, but you get the sign in or the get office option. Presuming that you have it through your school or employer, you then click on sign in and you get taken to the sign in page where you'll be prompted for your email address, and then the next button takes you to your password. And once you get to that, you get to your office.com homepage. So this is where we're working. We're working in the web browser. The exact browser doesn't matter. It could be Chrome, it could be Edge, it could be Firefox, it could be anything. So we're clicked in, we've signed in, and we've used either a phone or a tablet or a Chromebook or a PC. Again, it doesn't matter because all the tools are online and all the tools are the same for this purpose. So once you've signed into your account, you'll get this sort of look. This is my Office 365 homepage. And Office 365 contains various online tools which are powered through the cloud and the web browser. And one of these tools is PowerPoint. So you can see here I've got online Word, Excel, and PowerPoint's the third one down. For you, it may be a little bit different. You might have a different scrolling function. You can scroll down and up using your mouse wheel in my example.
George,
yes?
the screen isn't shared.
The screen isn't shared. Thank you for that. Let's just try that again. I'm glad you spoke up there, Amy. Okay, let's just take that back a step. Can you see it now?
Yeah, we can see it now.
Okay, brilliant. Sorry about that for the false start. I'll try and be a bit faster. So I went to office.com and that's where I signed in. So I clicked on the sign in button there. Then once you've clicked on the sign in button, it's email address, click on next, and then your password will pop through. You'll be taken to the home page. This is my home page. I will share the MIE details at the end if you need them. OK, so once you're on the home page, you click on home and you get this view, which shows your most recently used files and recommended files, which are your most frequent ones. But if you come down the side, you can see PowerPoint is one of the tools. So Word, Excel and PowerPoint. Anything you hover over, you will see what it is. OneDrive is your personal storage space. If you can't see it on this shortlist, click on this boxy icon down the bottom corner, which is all apps, and it brings up every single app in Office 365 which you have access to, and you will find it in there. PowerPoint. So without further ado, I'm going to use PowerPoint 365 and I'm going to show you a few of the tips and tricks and tools for teaching online. You'll notice that when I click on PowerPoint, it brings up all my recent or all my PowerPoint files in my OneDrive, and I also have access to my recent files if I want to go through things. These two menus are pretty much the same for me. I've also got a link to shared files and favorites, so I can be using these content summaries to help me out in PowerPoint. If I can't remember what the file exactly is called, I can always type in this search box here and filter the list to find something appropriate. So in my example, if I did demo, it would search for the keyword, and as you can see, it's live checking anything for the word demo or demonstration in there. That's fairly straightforward. It's a quick little search, but it's really useful. It saves you having to spend ages sorting to get out the folders because PowerPoint and Office 365 can search faster than you can sort. So let's go with a new presentation. As with normal PowerPoint, you have lots of themes to start with, so you can click on more themes and see all the options you've got there. But we're going to do something a bit different today, and we're going to start off with a slide designer. So I'm going to start with a new blank presentation. And PowerPoint is quite smart insofar as it will use something called a slide designer tool, which is AI, artificial intelligence, to bring out graphical models based on what text you type in. So if you have a look at this, you can see my designer is already in place. But if your designer is not in place, for example, like this, you would simply go along the top tabs bar until you see design. And then you see the usual design options here, but then you have the magic wand of designer. So I'm going to click on designer. I'm going to leave that be. Now designer will dynamically change to whatever I type in this PowerPoint. So let's say I'm going to do a search for fire engines in a fire station visit. Okay, so I'm going to do a fire station visit. Fire station visit. And when I finish typing, automatically PowerPoint is now searching through with designer, and you can see it's picked up on the keyword of fire. And if I scroll down a bit, you'll see there's different options around, lots of different styles. I'm not happy about that so far. So it's going to be our school trip, and I'm going to be looking at the fire engines in particular. So if I scroll down here, I can search for pictures based on the descriptions I've got. So if I click on here, I can tap in any of these. So I can click on search for pictures. And if I type in fire engine, it's Creative Commons only, which means I can share them and use them. I can find a good fire engine now and click on that picture, and it adds it straight away. You'll notice I'm not going to resize this right now, because what's happened is PowerPoint has picked up on the picture and the text, and it's started to merge them together in different options. So without worrying about resizing things, I can click on this, and it will automatically resize things and reshape things so it looks good. So let's say the first thing we do on my fire engine visit is, I'm just going to get rid of that subtitle box, is we're going to go and see the firemen and what they do, the firefighters. So firefighters. Okay, and then I can click off there, and I can then again use the designer tool, go to the bottom. I'm going to search on this, but I'm not going to search for the word fighters. I'm going to search for firefighters, because otherwise I get jet fighters and all sorts. Type in firefighters, click on enter, and I get various pictures. Now I do want to have their kit, their health and safety gear. So I'll take this picture here. And again, designers starting to prompt me with different things. If I wanted to, I can pick through any of these scale options here. I can put it in. As I start to add text, I can just start typing in details. So helmet, bottle. I'll just start writing in various things. So you can see here, as I put in more details, designer has gone pale and is thinking about what to share. And I can go through here and I can pick any style I want to think about. If I want to go back to a design from a previous slide, I can copy the template across if I want to. So this firefighter here, I'm going to add another picture. So just insert, and I'm going to insert a picture. I'm going to just pick Bing pictures here because this means I can just pick pictures from wherever they are. And if I go in here, I'm searching for fire, I'll pop in another picture, insert it, and you can see here the design tool now starts to make it a bit more dynamic is what I'm doing. So I've got the firefighters and I've got a picture there, or I can go through any of these different types. As with PowerPoint normally, you can select things, you can change the font size, and whatever else you want to do as you go through. So you can change the font size, you can make things bold and everything else. So that's the first hint and tip on PowerPoint 365 is using Slide Designer. You can see it's very dynamic. It will change things as it wants to, although it's not very, although it's artificially intelligent, it's not particularly smart, and therefore it won't pick up things like photosynthesis. as a keyword as being lots of graphics for a science lesson. It will allow you to take some concepts like the water cycle. And if you type on this, the designer will come through and give me some suggestions of water. So it's picking up the keyword of water there, but it's not picking up any scientific images. And if I then search, so instead of doing that, if I search and insert a picture, and again, they could be on my computer already, but if I search for Bing pictures and search for the water cycle, hopefully some friendly teacher out there has inserted a water cycle picture. Lovely. I'm going to choose this one because it works well on a web display. And now immediately designers give me options here on how I want my picture to be displayed. So I can go for this if I want to, and at a quick click, it changes and moves around the slides for me. So I can do this, I can move it, and obviously at any point in time, if I decide that I'm not happy with it, I can just manually reposition elements by dragging it around. I can resize elements. I can make it full screen if I want to by just dragging it around, and I can do the usual PowerPoint tools. For example, I can use drawings on this. I can highlight key areas. I can use a highlighter on here, which allows it to be transparent ink. I can go through slide size. I can change the background on this slide to being a solid fill of blue for water, and it affects that or all the slides. I can go through transitions. Transitions are nice. We're going to talk about transitions next. And I'm going to go further down my PowerPoint slide here. So this is the most nonsensical PowerPoint demonstration ever. If I just delete all this content, I'm going to insert a circle. So I'm going to insert a shape. If I insert the circle by default, and if I just drag the handles, I'm sorry, I'm still on highlighter, apologies. If I turn off my highlighter, go away highlighter, give me my mouse cursor back, thank you. What I can do is I can drag this circle handles anytime I want to. If I hold down Shift, when I'm doing so, I keep it as a circle. So I'm going to start with a small circle there, and then I'm going to duplicate this slide, which means that my next slide also has a blue circle on it. I'm going to move my second slide's blue circle over to the far side and make it larger, and hold on Shift to make sure it's a circle. And what I can do is this. Go from this slide to that slide, I can make the circle morph across. So starting on my ending point slide, this is a morph. I'm going to use a transition, and it's going to be the morph transition. Now this is new for PowerPoint 365. If I click on morph, it will then see. So as I play through the PowerPoint presentation, just take a quick moment for it to wake up. PowerPoint slides. I don't want to give you feedback right now, thank you. So we're going to present, play from beginning. Fire station, water cycle, and that's the morph. So the morph is a gradual animated transition from one circle to the next. Now this is really nice, but you can't change shape unless you do something by renaming the shapes, but that's for more than 21 minutes to show you how to do that. But the morph transition is a lovely one, and you get lots of different transitions across where you can then, let's just pick this one here. So this one here is going to be one of our transitions, and I can pick a number of different transitions here, many of which you'll recognize from a previous use. You've got exciting, you've got peel-offs, you've got cubes, you've got doors, you've got conveyors. The conveyor is quite a nice one. Again, if I just click on play from beginning, you'll see the conveyor slides it across and out the way. So you can play with the transitions there, that's lovely. But that's not what you're here for, because PowerPoint 365 does many of the same things as normal PowerPoint does. Let's go and dig into some of the more interesting and more detailed tools. So we've looked at the transitions, we've looked at home, we've looked at the morph transition in particular, and we're now going to look at PowerPoint Presenter as a tool. Now, PowerPoint is interesting because if you want to present something live with PowerPoint, you can click straight away on Present and it just brings up what I've just shown you. But there is a drop-down menu here which gives you some options. If you click on one of these drop-down menus, you get three options there. Play from beginning is playing the slideshow from the beginning, as I've just shown you. Rehearse with Coach allows you to talk through your PowerPoint slides and receive feedback on your pattern of speech and so on. And Present Live allows you to get feedback from your audience. We'll use these in a moment. I'm just going to come out of this PowerPoint slideshow and go into a different one. So this is my demonstration slideshow in PowerPoint. It's just got a few things in here, which I've previously recorded. I'm going to just show you this. Is audio files attached to it and all sorts of stuff. Changing slides, presenting tool, and when you've finished, save as a PowerPoint show. This is the key slide I'm going to leave on for the moment. And I'm not going to talk to you trying to turn, but during a presentation, you have got some tools to play with. So here we go. If you hold on the control button and click, you will get a laser pointer. Sorry, silly me. You will get a laser pointer. If you hold on Control and P, you get the pen on or off so you can ink on it. If you hold on Control and I, this is the ink, this is the pen. If you hold on Control and I, you will get the highlighter on and off. Control and M hides all ink and shows all ink, and E erases all ink on the slide. That's on standard PowerPoint. Some of those tools and shortcuts do work on PowerPoint Presenter on 365, but if you hover over the bottom corner, you'll see you've got the presentation menu here. Now the first one is straightforward. If we click on that, we can see all the slides at once, so we know we're on the slideshow. It's like presenter view. If we go on the second one, that's the pen and ink. And again, I've just said the highlighter, eraser, and erase all ink. These are all available through a click on the button. If I click on erase all ink on slides, it's gone. The next one here, clicking on this allows subtitles. Currently, my microphone is being used for speaking to you on Teams, so my microphone's not available. I'll change that in just a moment. And I'm just going to click on escape from there. And I'm going to go and present the last part now, which is here. We've got the wireless. It looks like a broadcasting option here. This would allow me to broadcast my PowerPoint live. Let's not do this just yet. I will show you a PowerPoint live you can join in a moment. And again, students through Teams or through Google Classroom could scan that QR code, or you could share this link with them via email, and they can join your PowerPoint session live. As a teacher, you will see how many people have joined. The final one you can do in this menu sort of along here is this slideshow button here, which when you hover over it, it brings out the presentation menu. Sorry, I keep on clicking the wrong button. And you've got the option here. It shows you how many are watching the live session, copy the link, show the welcome screen again, show the audience reactions, or end the session. So I'm just going to end this session here, so it won't be live anymore. And I'm going to go back to PowerPoint from a different perspective. Before we move on, you know how my microphone wasn't picking up the audio? Along here, if I was able to use it, I could click on this drop down menu here from Dictate, and I can pick the language I'm speaking, and I can pick the language I want to have output in Subtitles. And that dictation tool allows me to dictate into PowerPoint itself. All I need to do is just open up a text area and just start speaking with that dictate on, and it would automatically pick up my language choices, and it would transcribe what I'm saying. I can't demonstrate this live because I'm actually using my microphone in PowerPoint for Teams, sorry. I'm going to just flick back to Teams for a moment, and you can see here the same tool is available in Teams through turn on live captions. And if I use this in PowerPoint, let's give it a moment to catch up. If I use my transcribe tool in PowerPoint, then it will record the audio and change it into text. So long as you speak clearly enough, it will put emphasis on the correct words and pick the correct language that you're speaking. Although you do need to tell the computer which tool you are using and which language you are speaking in. I'll turn off live captions. So as you can see there in PowerPoint, you have the same tool through Dictate, and that will allow you to type your slides without having to use any fingers. You can just type your slides in using your voice. And we'll come back to the presenter mode here with a designer magic wand. You can bring things through. There is an option in PowerPoint Live, which I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint here, and I'm going to pick a menu. And this is going to be a demonstration PowerPoint presentation. Go back from select theme, thank you. And this is going to be a very straightforward demonstration slideshow. Nope, wrong one. My apologies. It's going to be a very straightforward demonstration slideshow. So this is my fire engines again. I'm going to now present live. So if you have children in Teams, you'll get some feedback in Teams, or you have a live session going on, you can select present live. So clicking on the drop down here, you could rehearse with a coach if your microphone's active and it gives you a dynamic feedback to show what's going on. I can click on present live. Now we've just made this presentation, I'm going to present it live to you and you can give some feedback on my slideshow as you can see what's going on. So before we do anything else, we get this session. I can copy the link and I'm going to paste it into Teams. So if you're in the Teams chat, you can click on this link and you can join my live PowerPoint presentation. There we go. So feel free to click on that link if you want to. It will not take you out of Teams because it doesn't use any of the video or audio parts, but I will see there who clicks on it. So Christiana and Amy, if you don't mind clicking on that button, it'd be lovely. Anybody else who feels free, I will see how many people are joining as you see it. Alternatively, I can use my phone. As long as my phone's got a QR code reader, I can hold it up against with my camera. I can hold it up and it'll just read the QR code and take me straight into PowerPoint. So that's one person joining there. So I'm seeing that I'm going straight in. Let's see my password. And this is really useful for students who've got individual logins because you can then see who's gone on. So signing in there. OK, so I've got one person joining there. That's great. I'm just going to stick with one person joining and I'm going to start the show slides. So if I click on show slides, this starts a PowerPoint presentation for them. And these individuals will be able to send emotional responses. If you look at the slides, they'll be on your phone or on your computer as well. And you'll see various emojis and things you can click on to see how it goes through. If you're not logged into PowerPoint at this point in time, you won't be able to see my slides and therefore you won't be able to see the responses. There we go. Thank you very much for that clapping hands there. So PowerPoint Live is really useful for that sort of thing. And as I move through my slideshow, the slideshow is tracked along on the user's device, so on their phone or tablet. And this means that you can see different screens at a time. It also has the dictate function, so you can get closed captions on a device. And you can, if you have the right setup in place, you can speak in English and get translated into a different language through the translate tool. So the translate tool is set up in PowerPoint. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to end my presentation, end session here. So thank you for joining my live session. What I'll do here is I'm going to change my subtitles. So I'm going to start off with translating. So how do I do this? I need to click on the slideshow menu. And then this is possible. I've got always used subtitles, which is in place. But I can click on the drop down here. I can pick my spoken language as being English UK, but I can pick my subtitle language to be something which is not English UK. So I could subtitle in English, but I could also subtitle in French or German or Greek. And this means that if I've got children who are English as an additional language, or if I want to actually teach a language, different classroom, then I could click on that language and that would be the default subtitle. I can also pick on the location of the subtitle, so bottom, top, below the slide or above the slide, and overlaid means it's transparent, just like teletext subtitles. And these bottom two options give you a black bar with the subtitles on, like you saw in Teams. I've also got the audio settings, so I can change my microphone here, but currently it's in use, and I can change my spoken language and subtitle language from there. You can do this in a live PowerPoint presentation, but it's best to avoid doing that. So we've got various tools you can use from the bottom menu in Slide Designer. We've got Slide Designer, which helps to give information from the design tool here, and using the Designer Magic Wand to generate designs saves you a lot of effort and it can quickly change the look of your slideshow. We've got PowerPoint Presenter, which gives you the options across here. So when you're on home, and you drop down from present, you can rehearse with a coach and see how well you're speaking. It'll say how clear you're speaking, how fast you're speaking, and how much you are reading from the slides. And therefore you might want to be a bit more autonomous with how you speak instead of just reading the slide. And then present live allows others to enter the QR code or a link, and then they can give emotional responses to your PowerPoint slideshow. So you get a bit of class feedback straight away. We've talked about transcriptions and subtitles. Unfortunately, I couldn't demonstrate them because I'm live on Teams, and I've talked about translation of those subtitles into a different language. That's all we can fit in 21 minutes. There's plenty of other tools, including getting a transcript into OneNote and transcripts into Word. But for now, that's the end of the 21 minutes. So thank you so much for joining us for 21 and 21.